Minor news today. I think everything at this point is kind of minor news unless we make a major trade or cut downs happen and we sign someone that's definitely going to be a starter. This to me is a depth piece, a camp body, someone to come in to the preseason games. I'll let you guys determine what you think, though, because there still is a battle there for the defensive tackle position. I think this last game with the Bills really cleared things up, showed a lot of guys fighting for that same position. So we'll see if someone's done enough to set themselves apart or if this is a opportunity for Jaylon Hutchings, who was a highly touted undrafted free agent, to come in and try to steal that spot away. He was out of Texas Tech, 6 foot tall, 305 pounds, 5-year starter for them, a redshirt year on 2018 where he had limited snaps. But you see his PFF grades there at the bottom. I know that's kind of small, but decent grades. His last year, 2022, was the best grade out of that, 84 as an overall defensive grade. But across the board, if you look, the last 2 years, pretty consistent, nothing in the negative. So everything, his pass rush, his tackling, his run defense, his overall defense looked really good. And if you look at the total pressures, this last year, 20 on 278 pass rush snaps. It's decent, but the year before, 30 out of 359 pass rush snaps. That's really good. And decent decent sacks out of those two. 4 sacks, 2 sacks, 4 sacks, 4 sacks. So good pass rush ability. And also a decent tackler. The last 2 years, only 8% missed tackle rate and 5.6% missed tackle rate. So seems like a solid option to be able to bring in for some depth, to be able to compete for a camp. What I'd be watching more than anything is if he's able to make the practice squad at this point, see if they can develop him a little bit, because he is an undrafted free agent this year, so it's 3 years with the restricted free agency after that. So it's a rookie contract to be able to try to develop him. News this morning came a couple hours ago. I'm just a little slow getting to it. Aaron Wilson, I saw it on Twitter, signing former Texas Tech defensive tackle Jaylon Hutchings, per league source, went undrafted while recovering from a torn meniscus. Fully healthy now, and former honorable mention All Big 12 selection, joins NFC North franchise after successful workout. So apparently this has been in the works. This isn't a result of the preseason game yesterday and them saying, oh, we've got something to worry about. In fact, I've got the video coming out very soon. I don't know if I'll do it tonight or tomorrow morning. Make it longer for my Free Talk Tuesday on a Monday. With Hard Knocks out now, I'm trying not to do my Free Talk Tuesday on Tuesday. I'm trying to do it on Mondays. We'll see if I can keep that up, but it looks like that meniscus is healed. That was the biggest reason he went from a late round potential. I don't know if anybody really had him as a 7th rounder or 6th rounder. Even before the meniscus tear, he was kind of that verge guy that if someone loved him, they could draft him. But with the meniscus tear, obviously, took him out of the runnings for that. So now he worked out for the Bears. That's probably been in the works for a little bit. And now he's healthy and ready to go. So they've signed him as the 90th man to the 90-man roster now. And this is kind of where I line things up now as we clean up the graphics we've got for this, the defensive line. After yesterday's game, I'll show you guys in the grades video for yesterday's game. Jamry Chroma, I've got as my defensive interior. He's absolutely a beast. His pass rush win rate, the effect he had, I realized he only had 1 tackle, but he was causing a lot of those sacks yesterday. The Bears had 7 sacks, and he caused 3 of those. Kind of like the Montez Sweat effect. When you're causing the pressure from one side, the other side's able to get the job done. And he actually had pressures. He had 3 pressures in the game, and all of those resulted in teammates getting their job done. So that's kind of how I see it right now. Jacob Martin hasn't been playing, obviously, with the injury, but Jacob Martin, Dominique Robinson, kind of for that 4th defensive end spot. DeMarcus Walker-Sweat starting for now. I think Austin Booker really could overtake DeMarcus Walker this year very early on, kind of like he did in college, get an opportunity in the first couple games. If he does well in the first couple games, he could. I don't know if they'll turn it over that quickly, but there's a process to it. But with how he's playing in the preseason, I'll show you in his grades too. It's elite stuff that we've been missing. It's Max Crosby type stuff, guys, with his pass rush win rate and his pressures per snap efficiency. Like he's a dog. And even in the first half of the last game, I think they were having him play contain a little bit more, seeing if he could set the edge, and he did. His run defense is really good. I'll hold this. I'll hold this for my other video. This is supposed to be about Jaylon Hutchings. You see there at the bottom all the list of guys. So right below Jamry Chroma, that's kind of the spot I still see up for grabs. Now, I'm going to say this. It might be a little controversial, but Zach Pickens, I think, is up for grabs as well. He's not playing spectacular. Even the sack yesterday, guys, that wasn't really him. That was just kind of them trying to evade. Everybody else is getting the pressure. He didn't get the pressure on that play. He just kind of slipped off and got a tackle. So that was more like a running play, which he's really good at. He's a good run defender tackler. So I'm not sold on Zach Pickens keeping that spot either. I mean, we could see Byron Cowart and Jamari Croma. You could see Keith Randolph step up. I haven't seen that yet. He hasn't been playing a ton either. I think there's some injury there. But so, no, I'm not trying to go full down the rabbit hole and say Zach Pickens. I think Zach Pickens will absolutely have his job this year. And that's kind of the 9 that I see right now taking the jobs. But Byron Cowart, with his good game last week in the Hall of Fame game, could upend Jamari Croma. Jamari Croma is truly a bear with his size and that beard. So we'll see what happens. But there's the news this morning. Undrafted free agent, defensive tackle, Jaylon Hutchings. Welcome to the Chicago Bears. With that, bear down and dabears.